So, turn in your homework in that box over there. We have two things happening this weekend that you guys, some of you need to know about one, and all of you know about the other. Saturday at 9, we're having a scenario rehearsal. So if you have been informed that you have lines in the script, you need to be there because we did not rehearse last time for the costume stuff. So we're going to start blocking, I'm hoping, on Saturday. And then Sunday, that is the duct tape bodice day that we are going to be working with anybody that wants to have a duct tape form of their torso made, or their leg, or their arm, or whatever needs a pattern piece. We can duct tape your whole body if you want to, but it will be uncomfortable and fun for those taping you. That is Sunday at 10 a.m. at the Feast Hall. I realize it's a long drive. I make that drive every time I come up here, so I'm aware of it. What you need to bring with you is 3 to 4 rolls of duct tape, 2 t-shirts, one to wear and one to destroy. It was reminded that you probably ought to not care about either of the t-shirts, so don't wear your brand new favorite Iron Man or Smurfs or Snoopy or whatever the heck your shirt is that you love, 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 because there is a chance when we're cutting the form off of you that we could nick the shirt as well. So wear shirts that you don't care about. You also need to bring existing corsets, ladies, if you plan to wear them again this year and you're building a duck bodice on top of it so that you are already in the shape that you need to be for your bodice. If you do not have a corset, you can at least have an idea of what style of bodice or doublet that you want to make so that we know what to draw on you when you are all taped into the duct tape. Is anybody confused by the duct tape theory? Because I think I explained it last time. There might have been about wrong. You have no idea, do you?
Yeah.
Are you lying to me? Yes. I know Steve is lying. Basically, we wrap you like a human sausage in duct tape, draw on top of you, then cut off of your body what is now the new shape of your costume piece. Cut it apart, add seam allowance, and that is your pattern piece for your costume. It's pretty easy. It makes it much easier than trying to remove darts from existing commercial patterns because we just squish you into the shape that we need you to be. It's a lot of fun, actually. It's kind of like, it's a lot of fun to do. It's not so much fun to have it done to you, but it's a lot of fun. Don't look so scared. It's not painful. It's not painful.
You just have to hold your breath for a really long time.
Like 4 hours.
For the guys,
Okay.
just you guys, the guys, just so you know, if you've ever wanted to look like a freaking superhero, so that you're all formed up and your back is like, ugh, it's awesome. Being in the duct tape, you're like, I'm freaking Iron Man. I mean, it's awesome.
Or you can be the uber nerd that Steve is and bring colored duct tape to make yourself look even more like a superhero.
Last time when we threw a star on it, looked like Captain America.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. So those are the two things you have going this weekend. You should be told and be aware that from Friday on, it's going to be harder to catch me at the office because all of our coworkers are back on Wednesday. So Wednesday nights are going to be your best chance. Email. I'm going to start farming stuff out to Sarah to answer via email. If you call and you don't get a response from me via phone, that's probably because I've written it down to deal with on Wednesday night, since I've already come in here anyway. But I know for a fact that my boss is flying in on Friday, and we already have a meeting Friday afternoon. So, hit the ground running. Yeah, so it was a really good season for them, Carolina. They suppose that they're in a very good mood. So, next week on the 5th is when your costume sketches and your costume swatches are due. We will be setting aside some time during the workshop to deal with that stuff because it will be chaos for them if I don't. But you have another week if you haven't found your swatches that you want to pitch to them yet to go find them. is the easiest part of my night because I just go like this. The handout is about creative greetings and leave takings. The homework is about creative greetings and leave takings. They're going to be over there. Get them later. I love that part of the night. So tonight, what we've got on the docket, for those of you who don't remember because we all got fat over the last week, we've got reverencing, we've got the great chain of being, and we're going to do some yes and improvisational type stuff. So we're going to get started with the easiest of them, which is reverencing. Reverencing, for those of you who don't know what that word means, it means bowing or showing deference to those that are higher than you in society. Why I'm teaching you this now is so that when we go over the great chain of being next, you'll know who you have to reverence. See how those two things pair together? Alright, so how we do, I actually have this all broken out step by step, but ladies, yours pretty much looks like this. It's easy. Hands at your side, both legs are bent. Gentlemen, yours pretty much looks like this. Legs straight, like this. Back straight, shoulders facing the person that you're reverencing. My biggest pet peeve are crappy reverences, especially amongst the nobility and middle upper class. Most people, you see these movies, they're all dramatic. They go like this, bend over, flash their butt, or whatever they're doing. During the time period, you made eye contact with the person you were reverencing because, to put it delicately, if you broke eye contact and looked at the floor while you were doing it, you were inviting them to join you in your bedroom later. It was a flirt. It was a very blatant flirt. So we keep eye contact with the people that we're reverencing.
Or you want to
So, I will break it down, and I have a gentleman volunteer who has never reverenced before. Come on up, you two, all three of you, come on here. So, men, basic rules of reverencing for everyone. Keep eye contact, stand up straight, shoulders pulled back, heads are high. You point your body in the direction of the person that you're reverencing. You do not, however, bend at the waist. This is a misconception. Well, at least this is how I want it done. So, as with everything in the world, there are exceptions to the rules. But I will go over those in a minute. Guys, how you do this properly, step by step, is your back leg carries all of your weight. It does not matter which leg is the back leg, whichever is the strongest of your legs. So your back leg carries all your weight, your front leg is straight, and your foot is pointed at the person you're reverencing. So let's pretend like we're reverencing Mark right now. But your toes stay on the ground. I don't want any of this toes in the air stuff that you see people do because we are not the flexible humans that we once were. Our hamstrings don't stretch that way. So only the back leg bends. And this does not have to be dramatic. So you lower yourself about 6 inches. It's only enough to lower yourself so that they can visibly see that you are paying deference to them. And that was bad. Don't look at my feet. I don't do that guy reverence. So hats off. Your hats off. Come. So your hats come off your head and they rest at your waist on the opposite side of your body, the brim to you, so that we're not looking at the disgusting inside of your hat. Let me see your hat.
You're not shirting your legs.
Yeah, you're not shaking your legs with everybody. So it goes like this. Off of your head, across your body. So, and you do whatever you want with this other arm. So let's try that again. Mark, we're going to reverence you. Don't be used to it. All right, guys. And hold it. Wait,
I don't want to get in bed with you.
you go down and hold it. You stay there until he dismisses you or tells you to rise. But he's going to be nice and not make you hold forever because these all look good.
May I say something?
Rise up.
You mind?
Yes.
A little motivation, back during that time period, they were real big on the calves of their legs.
Yep.
And part of this is showing the other person
Yes.
have a head of calf that you have. That sounds weird. They were big in their calves back then.
Dude, you've been working out?
Remember, they were showing off the calf.
There's another way that people say that they're going to reverence, and that is to make legs, actually. So in pointing your toe and stretching your leg, you're showing your calf the best benefit that you possibly can. Because you're in tights most of the time. You're bare-legged, which is awesome. So that's guys. Guys, you can sit down. Ladies, I have 3 lady volunteers. Come on. Maybe you give it. Ladies, it is the opposite with us. Guys, their back leg carries the weight. Our front leg carries the weight. So whichever of your legs is the strongest, that's the one that you do. We get to cheat like hardcore because our skirts cover up everything that our legs are doing. So basically all you have to do is sweep your leg behind you, take a step back, and bend both your knees. Super easy. As long as your back is straight, it's all that counts. So choose whichever leg that you think is more strong, and take a step back, and bend both your legs. Doesn't have to be pretty. Ballerinas, if anybody took ballet class, this is first, second, third, fourth. This is basically fourth position in a plie. Yeah, it hurts, right? After about 20 seconds, you start to feel the tremor. And you're like, please let me up. Ladies and gentlemen, you guys can rise back up. What you can do is if you know that you're going to be on the ground for a while or down, just go like this. All the way down. So, ladies, try it again. Reverence mark. And hold it. Your hands can do with it what you want. On your lap, on your thighs. It's fine. You're fine. Right up. So it's pretty easy. Everybody stand up. We're going to try this. That's the prego. You can sit down. Oh, we should just all right, go back to the actually, what we're going to do, leave the room. Mark, announce him as if he's the king. We have an interim king for the moment. So sit back down. Hold off for a second. When the king enters an area, if you are sitting, you rise. Then you reverence, and you wait for him to get to wherever he's going until you rise back up. Unless he's just passing, and then you just wait for him to be out of eye shot and just scurry on his way. Or a court member will dismiss you as they rise you up. So let's practice this. When he announces the king, on your feet, reverence. Rusty, you know the drill.
Introducing King William.
All rise. Moseying like Levi.
Rise, be at your ease.
And that's pretty much how it goes. It's super easy. But even that, after a while, you start to feel it.
Are we tracking them?
What?
If he's moving them, are we tracking them? Are we like?
Not necessarily.
So we're just kind of staying straight.
Your face, you don't have to adjust your body, but you can keep your head in track with them if you want to. Because out there we have gravel, and if you're trying to twist your body, like, you're gonna break a leg.
Normally there wouldn't be that. Even in the Royal Pavilion, it's not that long.
Yeah, it's a long time. So reverencing, let me go back to the beginning of my notes, because why we do it is another way we create the illusion of Elizabethan society. Everybody during the Elizabethan era had someone over them, including the king. The king still answered to God and the angels, and the Pope, if he was Catholic. So we do it. Oh, I totally did this all out of order. Let's go back to the exceptions to the rule, shall we? That's how you do it properly. Now, the exceptions to the rule are if you are a beggar or other characters that are stooped, then you're obviously not going to be rigid, back-breakingly straight, shoulders back. You're going to be stooping and bowing and scraping however you want. Social standing, the lowest people on the chain of life are probably not going to bow so properly. There's a common thing that we do out there, well not we, because I do not demean myself to do this, but body groveling is when you flop on the ground in front of them. It basically is a face plant in the dirt, waiting for them to, they don't need to see it. It's like sliding into home with your face. And I actually had this is my favorite story to tell because nobody believes me, but it's true. Last year, the guy who plays my husband in the past came to visit, right? For those of you that were here, you know who I'm talking about. His name's Chris. Chris was the most popular beggar at the Kansas City Renaissance Festival because of his flying body grovels. He would run full tilt, leap in the air, and slide across the ground, usually landing within 6 inches of the feet of the person that he was reverencing. Chris was a beggar, so he didn't have a whole lot of padding or clothing or things on, so what he did, he had a friend that was a cop, and he got a Kevlar plate out of a bulletproof vest, and he put it in the lowest level of his clothing, so that as he was sliding along the ground, his chest was not turning into cheese grater effect. Now, Kansas City actually has dirt, so it was more like an awesome muddy slip and slide when it was raining. But here, body groveling, you gotta take it a little bit easier because they bring in tons of round rock, essentially, and pour it all over the festival center. It feels like owl when you slide across it. So there are people that body grovel, but I have not seen anyone here do the flying body grovel, and I do not recommend it.
I used to, as a peasantry, but
It's like owl.
I had my sack, and I would have that on the ground, kind of land and cushion on, or I would aim for a green. Otherwise, it is
Owl.
not recommended.
The also difference is the person that you're reverencing. A beggar to a merchant is not going to be as notable as maybe the beggar to the king. The reason the beggar is going to be more dramatic when he's reverencing the king is he wants the king's attention for that long. Because if the king sees a beggar, he might be having a generous mode, just say, give that man a crust of my bread or something. From an actor's point of view, how else are you going to get the eyes of the patrons off of the king? He's big, he's sparkly, his forehead is shiny. Yeah, you gotta figure out a way to get the attention off of his big entourage and onto you. So, reverencing is a great way to do it. It breaks their concentration and brings their focus to you. Age, ailment, etc. may contribute. If you have bad knees, if you have bad back, if you have, bad ankles like I do, you gotta figure out how to do it. Now, I have a note right here that says if you choose to body grovel, pretty much ignore all those rules. For now, I want you to learn to do it properly, in regards to reverencing, but then once you know how to do it right, you can make it your own. Ladies, you've done that, gentlemen, all that. Beggars and scum, you have no class or refinement, so you can be stooped or bent. Body grovel if your character would choose to, just don't hurt yourself. Reverences. Do them. My big rule is do the reverencing. It's really easy to get lazy. I do that too, but I do it because don't follow my example. I try to lead by example on a lot of things, but with reverencing, I'm generally like this to the world. I've got blinders on because I'm going from point A to point B, and I don't